Welcome to the Positively Portugal Football Report for round 23. My name is Howie. Before we talk about any football, I just have a request of you. If you are a fan of Portuguese football, or if you want to follow the story of an American moving to Portugal, please hit that subscribe button. That's the only thing I ever ask of you. Subscribing to a channel is free of charge. I do not want your money. There is no Patreon. There is no super thanks. There is no buy me a coffee. All I ask of you is 1 second of your time, and please subscribe to this channel. It is the #1 way that you can help support a YouTuber. Again, I don't want a single cent of your money. Just please, if you can find it in your heart to subscribe to this channel, it would help me immensely. So before we get into the Primeira Liga, we are going to talk about what went down in Europe this past week. We'll start with Porto, the last Portuguese Champions League team standing, and no one was expecting them to beat Arsenal, but in the 4th minute of stoppage time, what a golazo by Galeno. And if you have not seen the goal, you owe it to yourself to go find that video. Benfica and Sporting both had draws in the Europa League, but they both advanced. Neither team looked very convincing, but they didn't need to. Now we come to Braga. Braga went into Azerbaijan and they beat Karabag 3-2. Karabag played more than half the game down a man. They had a red card, and they still managed to score multiple times against Braga. Now, Braga wins the game, but in the first leg in Braga, they lost 4-2. Now, everybody should have lost their job at Braga for that. The manager, the sporting director, the president. And they had a chance to turn it around in Azerbaijan, and they absolutely should have, because they played more than half the match up a man, and they didn't. Braga just doesn't give a damn this season, and we'll get a little bit more into that, because they're not the only ones that just don't give a damn. Now, in the weekend, starting on Friday, we had Arouca getting back to their winning ways and knocking off Famalicão 3-2. Moreirense 1-0 over Firenze. Chaves and Estrela with a 1-1 draw. Casa Pia with the upset of the week, winning 2-0 in Guimarães against Vitoria. Now, I'm going to take back every good thing that I said about Vitoria recently. In their last 2 games against Portimonense and Casa Pia, they've gotten 1 out of the possible 6 points. So this is another team that just doesn't give a damn. I guess the Conference League doesn't pay a whole heck of a lot, but I have a little pride. At least try to get ahead of your derby rival Braga instead of emulating them as another team that just doesn't care anymore. Absolutely disgraceful by both Braga and Vitoria this week. Now, we also had Estoril 3-3 draw against Vizela. Benfica beat the hell out of Portimonense 4-0, all 4 goals in the second half. Porto with a huge letdown after that win over Arsenal, 1-1 draw at Gil Vicente. Sporting hit a bump in the road, bad draw there, 3-3 draw at Rio Ave. And Braga with a 4-0 win over Boa Vista. And let's face it, the only reason that they won in that fashion is because Boa Vista somehow manages to care less than Braga. Now, the beauty of Portuguese football to me is you have these teams like Casa Pia, Vizela, and Chaves, who will just fight you to the death to get a point. These are teams that have no interest in going down. Unfortunately for Vizela and Chaves, it looks like that's what's going to happen, but the way that these teams battle, it's everything that you love about Portuguese football. And then on the other hand, you have a team like Braga. And yeah, Braga's not the big three. They're not Benfica, Porto, or Sporting, but Braga is also about 30% owned by the same Qatari oil money, oil factory, whatever you want to call them, that owns PSG. So just I can't figure out Braga. They've got to be the most confusing team in Portugal. And it's the complete antithesis of Casapia, Vizela, and Chaves. Now, with Sporting's slip-up, Benfica takes over sole possession of first place in a way because Sporting still has that game to make up against Famalicão. So Benfica up by 2 points, but if Sporting wins that makeup game, then technically they're in first place. Porto remains in third place despite another bad domestic performance. Braga now 5 points up on Vitoria for the fourth place Conference League spot. Vizela and Chaves are still in the relegation zone, and Portimonense is now in the relegation playoff. The team of the week for the second straight time is Casa Pia. To go into fifth place Vitoria and just come away with all 3 points, just a month after getting absolutely annihilated 8-0 by Sporting. Like I said last week, it could have been very easy for Casa Pia to just lay down and die for the rest of the year and end up getting relegated, but that wasn't what they were made of. So all the credit in the world to Casa Pia. The loser of the week, well, we've got a tie here. It's Vitoria and Braga. So, again, folks, if you like Portuguese football, if you want to follow the story of an American moving to Portugal, please hit that subscribe button. It is the #1 way to help either me or really any YouTuber. And in the very near future, we're going to have some more non-football videos. I know that this has become kind of a football channel in recent times, but I will say that seems to be what people like. That's what's getting more views. But I do have a lot of other things to talk about, so I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.